Hello, folks. We're back once again. You are listening to Beyond Sight and Sound, metal detecting and treasure hunting radio for you, the always valued and appreciated listener. And we've got some people flowing into the chat here, trying to regulate a little bit of audio here real quick. It sounds like tonight the broadcaster's bringing a slight echo in. We'll try and regulate that. We've got some storms rolling through here tonight as well. Hopefully we can maintain connection for the listeners and for the show. Sometimes these storms, when they're rolling through, it can actually bump us from the net. But we hope that's not the situation tonight. And tonight, obviously, if you've seen the promo, we're rolling with open lines tonight. This is your chance, the listener, to call in and talk about whatever detecting related, bottle hunting, dump digging. You want to call and talk about your latest find. You were out there in that park and hit that nice silver coin or old relic out on the home site. Maybe you got a new coil you're trying. A new machine? New digging tool? Sand scoop? Maybe you're just trying your hand at something different for a change. Say, gold panning. You just never know. But before we go any further, as I said, you are listening to Beyond Sight and Sound. Obviously, we all know who I am. I'm your host, Josh Kimmel, and with me tonight, along for the ride, setting in the wings here, Mr. Chris Engel, beer barrel himself. How's it going, Chris?
Great, Josh. Talking about storms, we're lucky we dodged this one down here. It swung a little bit west of us, so you shouldn't even get flooded this time, which is good.
Absolutely it is. It sounded like you guys were really going to get hit nasty again, too. That was another tropical storm, wasn't it?
Yeah, tropical depression came in, tropical depression Bill. If it had made that little quick westerly curve, we would have been probably flooded in like we were just the day after Memorial Day for a couple of days here. But luckily, we just been getting little rain showers off and on. In fact, it's raining now, so I've been hearing a little thunder and a little lightning flashing, but it's okay, as long as we didn't get flooded.
That's interesting. So they named this one Bill, huh?
Yep, after Mr. Ohio Relic Hunter.
That's what I was going to say. Maybe they're naming him Bill because he's down there tearing it up like he is the relics here in Ohio.
Yep.
But yes, we see that Mr. Bill is in the Ohio Relic Hunter, is in the house tonight.
Yes, sir.
I see Swansea's in, coins unwrapped, Suki. Just a minute ago, I saw come across the screen Mr. Duke Dillon.
Yeah, Gar's in the house.
Yeah. And for the listeners who may not recognize, they've actually heard from Mr. Duke here recently because that is actually Mr. Patrick O'Masters.
O'Masters, yes, sir.
Which I'll tell you what, that show, good time. A lot of good information there. Talking about the prospecting and the fossicking and the gold panning, dredging, sluicing, the concentrates, and the pouches. That, once we got into the ruse there, that kind of threw the chat for a loop that night.
Yes, it did. It was a good show. Real good, very informative.
Yeah, we caught him off guard a little bit there, I think.
Yeah, just a bit, but that's okay. He hung in it. He hung in it good.
That's right. It just goes to show you got to stay on your toes. You never know what's going to happen. And Mr. Craig Stryker's in the house,
Craig
too.
Stryker's in there.
Yeah, we got a few people rolling through there.
Yeah, Swans is in here big time, so.
Yeah. Oh, and if we happen to see, for those in the chat, if you happen to see Super Drew drop in tonight, I don't know if he'll be able to make it to the chat or not, but if we see him, to go ahead and wish him a big happy birthday. Today is his birthday.
Okay, good deal.
So he's actually out right now enjoying what it sounded like it was going to be a very nice dinner.
Well, he's here in spirit with us.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of here in spirit with us, obviously, the Dirt Bandit is not here tonight. He's a little under the weather, but I'm sure he's here in spirit, and he'd much rather be here than dealing with what he's dealing with.
Yeah. Yeah, Brother Kenny's always here. That's one thing. He's always here in spirit, and he's always with us.
Absolutely. I know from speaking to him earlier today and then the messages I got this afternoon, he's really not feeling very well at all and very disappointed that he couldn't make the show. He was really looking forward to it because it's been a while since we've done open lines. And I guess with that in mind, 419-549-5744. Obviously, you all know the number. If anybody's got anything they just want to lead out with, talk about, maybe they want to talk a little bit about last week with the show with Patrick O'Masters. Because there was some good information there, and actually, who knows, maybe we'll even hear from him, because there was a question that I forgot to ask him during the show last week. We had actually talked a bit before the show about pay dirt concentrates.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you basically purchase concentrates, mail order. I'm kind of on the fence about some of that stuff. Some of it seems like it's kind of fly-by-night. But much like with anything else, you just have to make sure that when you're doing that sort of stuff, that you find a reputable supplier to deal with. The way Patrick talked on the subject when I was speaking with him about it is that, like I said, like anything else, you've got to stick with a reputable source. But when you do, you get what you pay for.
Mm-hmm.
There is gold in the pay dirt concentrates.
And I think if anybody had any questions, they could just get on Facebook or come back here and ask him questions, because I'm sure, from what I listened to him on the show, he's super, super nice guy. Be willing to help anybody and everybody.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see here. We've actually got a call. Oh, hello, caller.
Hey, this is Pat.
Oh.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, how you guys doing?
All right.
Great. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well. Nursing a little sore foot from work, but other than that, it's life.
Oh. Well, hopefully it's nothing real serious.
No, just a little pain in the foot. You get old, you gotta learn to deal with that stuff.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Or, in the hobbies that we like to partake of, sometimes that kind of comes with the territory. You get used to bouncing back and nursing bruises and sore muscles, and especially a sore back.
I'm recuperating here from the hobby injuries because it's been raining here pretty steady for the last couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, we've been having that here too. As a matter of fact, we're in danger of flooding now.
Yeah, and luckily
certainly not good.
And luckily we passed the bullet on that storm that hit down here, so
that's right.
We got rained out. We got rained out at our nighttime hunt at Fawcett too.
Oh. Of course, speaking of which, since you brought that up, because when you were on the show, we had mentioned that event. How did that all go for you? Was that a pretty good turnout aside from the rain?
I think a lot of people were frightened off because of the weather forecast. We had, there was a good number of people. There was probably 50 or 60 people on the claim. Lots of people camping. We got our common dig in on Saturday, and then about 7 o'clock, a real bad storm came through, and all of us tent campers were struggling, but we survived that. And then it rained pretty much all night Saturday night, and we got up Sunday and had our dig in the morning Sunday, and we booked out of there before it got wet again.
At least you were able to still get out and have some activities then. And with all the rain, it's pretty safe to say there was not a dunk tank. Everybody got dunked.
There will be a dunk tank at Gold Rush Days. We've confirmed that.
Oh, very nice. A little something more for them to look forward to. And I believe Ohio Relic Hunter had planned on attending the Fossick as well.
He didn't make it.
Well,
we
then.
did find a picker in our common dig Saturday, though, which was a nice treat.
Oh, very nice. Very nice indeed.
Not very often you can just reach into the tub and pick it out with your fingers.
Right, so that was a nice find.
Yes.
Yes.
You can't beat that at all.
No,
and,
everybody got lots of dirt to take home, and nobody got hurt, and everything worked as it should have.
Well, that is fantastic.
That's the best part right there. It sounds like regardless of the weather, everybody still had a good time. Nobody got hurt.
Yep. We're playing in the water anyway, so a little bit of rain didn't bother us.
Right, there you go. I had mentioned, which maybe you had been on and heard that part. I saw Ohio Relic Hunter was telling you go ahead and call in. When we had talked before the show last week, we had talked a little bit about pay dirt concentrates that you can order through the mail, over the phone, maybe online. I'm not real sure how you had done that. From the way you talked, as long as you stick with a reputable source, you get your money's worth.
Oh yeah, there are quite a few reputable guys out there. A lot of it's your research and your experience. I would tell people to shy away from eBay. You just have too much chance of contacting people that aren't reputable with no way to, make a review to your friends or anything like that. There's a lot of anonymity there. But there are a few good guys out there. There's a fellow up in Idaho, I believe it is, David Gold Bay. He's a great guy to deal with. There's an outfit, Dirt Hog, another one that's Gold Hog. There's a fellow that sells some platinum sands, Eureka Gold Sands. You just check it out online. These guys, you'll find them. They'll do you right.
Oh, yeah. Which I have heard of Eureka, and it seems like every time I've heard people mention them, it's always been good reference.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I deal with these guys on a pretty regular basis, and they don't want to get a reputation, so they just make sure and take good care of their customers.
Well, and that's what it's all about, and unfortunately, it can take quite a while to build up a good reputation and a little bit of nothing to tear it down if you don't watch it.
Yes, sir. That is so true, Josh.
And that's something that the ones with foresight know, and they take care of their customer base very well, and that's what drives the business, that word of mouth. If you know someone and you tell them, and then they tell their friends, and they go based by recommendation, people will go where their friends have if they're getting a good report.
Oh yeah, there's a fellow that does YouTube videos. He buys different gold bags and pans them out on video and actually shows you what he gets. He does I believe it's called Gold Pay Dirt Reviews, and there's some good information there too.
I guess we'll have to check that out. Definitely.
Yep. Good resource, it's a place to start anyway.
Right. Yeah, I mean, as long as you've got a starting point, that's all the person needs, really. Just get them pointed in the right direction, at least.
Yep. Well, hey, guys, I'm going to let you go and have yourselves a great rest of the show.
All
Great
right.
talking to you, Patrick. Take care, sir.
Thanks for
Take care,
touching in on that information. Appreciate it.
Good night.
Well,
Yeah.
and it sounds like Patrick's having a little bit of trouble there with his foot. Hopefully that doesn't give him too much trouble.
Yes, that is so true. Ooh.
You gotta watch that stuff, especially in the detecting hobby. We're on our feet a lot, doing a lot of walking.
I know I can feel for him because with arthritis in my knees, I tell you, you just take your Advil and you just keep going. I mean, it's one of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of times, you get them sore joints, stiff muscles, leg cramps, magnesium supplements help that too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you hear some of these hunters that they're out 8-10 hours a day. A lot of them, you come to find out talking to them that they probably take a magnesium supplement. It helps with those leg cramps and everything.
I heard somebody was telling me on those leg cramps, if you get those off, carry a jar of that regular pickle juice that they pickle pickles in. Take a swig of that, and a couple minutes later, it helps. Now, I never tried it. They say it works.
Interesting. Home remedies like that, I guess. A lot of them actually do work, and if they worked then, they work now.
They work now. They sure do.
Some of them seem to be kind of silly to some people, but you figure, well, it was working for them, so why not give it a try?
Yeah, why not give it a try? That is so true.
Especially if you get, if you're one of those that suffer from the bad leg cramps.
Oh, yes.
I mean, there's been times I've had them where they'll just bring me right out of a dead sleep.
Me too. And I have to get up and walk around. You think they go away, and just as you crawl back in bed, boom, they hit you again. You're right back up.
Yep. Oh yeah, it can get aggravating at times, that's for sure. For people who haven't had that issue, I hope they don't.
Oh, I do too.
It is not fun at all.
That is so true. I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Yeah. With seeing Coins Unwrapped in the house.
Yeah, Coins Unwrapped there. Past Pursuits is in there. And
oh, Past Pursuits has joined us.
Yep.
Wow. I was going to say, Coins Unwrapped recently put up a video on Facebook where he's getting into the research now.
Yeah.
He did, it was quite a nice video on the research of his local history in his county.
Yep, and I tell you, that's the best thing. Do that research. He's going to get out there and he's going to detect her and he's going to be tearing up that ground and he's going to say, well, I'm going to start saving all this little clay and all this little change I get. And pretty soon he's going to have an AT Pro and then go right on up like the rest of us do.
Oh, yeah. And the way it sounded in his video, he even found some information during his research that he didn't know about, which is, that's the fun of doing the research. When you uncover those little tidbits and it's like, wow, I never realized that. It just makes for a good adventure.
Mm-hmm. Well, have you and Home Finder been out?
Let's see. The day that I dropped off the items to him that I had in my possession that he had won, we had went out that day to get him a little used to his detector. He found a nickel and some other miscellaneous items. And then I have not been able to make it back over there recently, but he has been out digging practically every day since then. I mean, he's taken to this just like a little groundhog or something.
Well, that is great. I know that was the last show or show before last, y'all were talking about getting together and going out somewhere. And
he's got a site that before he even got his detector, if I remember right, he had mentioned to me that he thought that might be an interesting place to go and hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And we figured we'd give it a shot sometime. We're just kind of waiting, until the timing's right.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of callers here. Let me see if I can get them all worked in here. Let's see. We're joined by... Oh, it looks like we're accompanied by Coins Unwrapped and Swansea. How's it going, guys?
How's it going, guys?
Doing well, guys. How you two doing?
Good. How you doing, Swans?
I'm doing well. I just had a quick comment, Chris. You just mentioned about saving all your coins up to get a new upgraded piece of equipment. I had a question for you two, and Justin, I don't think I have to ask you this one because you just started, but are you guys hoarders when it comes to your metal detecting finds? I still have every coin, whether it's clad or not, button, buckle, whatever. Everything I've ever found, I still have it all.
Yes,
do you guys do the same thing?
Yes, I do. I keep all I got those couple of those plastic 1 pound coffee well, they're cans anymore, they're plastic cans now, but I get those from work they throw them away, and I all my clad pennies in one, dimes in one, nickels go in one, quarters go in one.
And how about you, Josh?
Yes, unfortunately, I must admit I'm a bit of a hoarder. I was, let's see, about 10 years ago, we were looking at buying a house, and I took all of my Doug Clad in that I had at that point in time and deposited in the bank to help with closing costs on the house.
Well, that tells you something right there. If you have the amount of coinage there to help with some closing costs, you did something right over those few years.
Yeah. basically the clock resets, my pile of clad vanished, so I had to start building that back up. So what I do normally, if I'm out in the field, I bring home my dug coins, I'll throw them all in a container, and then over the winter time usually, which I haven't in a while, I'll go ahead and tumble them to clean them up, and then they get dropped into like a little Ziploc baggie and tossed into a dry box.
I do the same exact thing. I spend my winter time tumbling my clad, which anybody who tumbles their clad, they need to know you do not mix your pennies with your dimes, nickels, and quarters because of cross plate, and it becomes a giant pink mess.
That's a good point. A lot of people don't realize that when you're tumbling your clad, tumble your pennies separate. Quarters, dimes, nickels, that's okay to do together if you want. But keep those pennies separate. And that's the way I do mine. I'll tumble the pennies in one set, and then once I'm done with all that, I'll rinse out my barrels. Because you'll want to do that too. When you switch, if you switch from doing pennies to doing, say, quarters and dimes, make sure you rinse your barrels out. Otherwise, you'll still take on that odd toning.
Yes.
And your aquarium rocks too.
Yes, yeah. You do. That's what I say. You wash your rocks too. I always do that.
Yeah.
And I'm funny too. I'm so particular. I have 2 separate sets of rocks. I clean out my barrel like Josh says, but I have my penny rocks and I have my other clad rocks.
But I didn't think about that. I've been washing mine, so.
And actually, I've been lax on it the last couple of years. I think I've got about 3 years of clad I've got to tumble.
Just think what that's going to add up to. Now, before I get off the line here too, Justin, this tells you what you're in for, buddy. You're going to be a hoarder like the rest of us. You're going to save up these chains. You're going to have all these buckles, and I have them in little buckets like Chris was just talking about. I've got the old plastic Folgers cans where one of them's full of buckles, one of them's full of old flat buttons and everything else. I hope you've got storage in your apartment because you're going to need it.
Yes, you're going to need it.
Yeah, or maybe a little shed or something.
Yeah, if you need a shed, Josh, you're doing too much digging.
Well, look at Keebler.
Yeah, that's true, too. If you're going to pull out half plows and 3/4 of a tractor, then you're probably going to need your own separate property. But
yeah, I mean, Keebler needs a garage just to store his detecting gear.
That's right. Yeah, he's got plenty of detectors out there. And by the way, Josh, I got cut off from you earlier today when we were talking. The rotisserie chicken came out fabulous.
Ooh, very nice. That sounded like it was going to be good, too.
All right, well, I'm going to give the airtime over to Justin now, and can't wait to hear what he's got to say.
All right.
Take care, Swans. Great talking to you, sir.
Yeah, you too, guys. Have a good night.
We'll see you, Swans. Justin, how's it going?
Hey, guys. Thanks, Swans. Yeah, I live on the 3rd floor in my apartment complex, so it's going to be kind of hard to install a shed anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
But I do have a nice little closet on the back porch, and I store all my crap in there, so we'll have to build some shelves.
Oh, well, there you go. That'll work out all right.
That'll work good.
I still have all the foil and the Washington quarter and the I think it was like 11 bottle caps from my first hunt on Fort Lauderdale Beach.
Yeah, you got to keep everything from your first hunt. It's kind of a memento and kind of a good luck charm too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You guys had mentioned earlier about the video I put up on the research on my county, and you're right. I was actually trying to do research on my city, and that was not really getting me anywhere. So I decided to go to the county website, and I found a historical area on it. In fact, they're even trying to employ people with certain backgrounds, building architect and a bunch of different things, which I don't fall into. But it was I ended up reading through that story and found out, I didn't even know it, but we're in our centennial this year.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did mention that in the video. That's pretty cool too.
Yeah, and we had we had secured at least one German U-boat in the 20s it was, or maybe I could be completely off on this. I don't remember from the video. I have to maybe it was the 1940s. Yeah, I think it was the 1940s. Yeah, I learned a lot of fun stuff from that, and I did challenge other people watching it to go ahead and if they can, make a little video of what they found out about their county that they live in, anything at all. The one other fun fact from the county that I live in, Broward County, Florida, is that the show Cops, which a lot of people know about, originated from Broward County, Florida in 1989.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it
Was that-
sounds like you got to find out all sorts of interesting stuff.
Yeah, it was a fun journey, and I'm still not done with it.
That's right. It can be a regular, never-ending adventure in a sense.
Yes. I had also mentioned a couple of other subjects in the chat, and Josh, it's up to you if you would like me to talk about the YouTube situation. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is how I even came upon metal detecting.
Oh, how did you come upon metal detecting? I guess we have never really heard that. Even when you won the detector, or even when you got the detector and pinpointer and stuff.
Yeah, well, about it, I think it was like in November of last year, or even before that a little bit, I fell on hard times. I was trying to figure out a way to come up with some, money or whatever. And, I came upon, coin roll hunting. And I thought that was cool. I was like, oh, maybe I'll find some silver dimes and then I can resell them and make a couple of bucks.
Yeah,
and then I
or
started,
even an error coin or a key date coin.
Oh, yeah, the 1909 VDBS would have been awesome.
Oh, I tell you what, I thought I dug one of them a couple of weeks ago. I about gave myself a heart attack.
Did you really?
I thought I did, but then I looked at it again, and it was a 1919.
Oh, man. But that was where it started. And in all honesty, it was for profit. And then I got into it, and then I started finding different not errors, but different coins, and then realizing, oh, wow, there's key dates. And then my uncle ended up giving me a whole bunch of his collection, books and all kinds of different stuff. And I was like, oh, wow, this is actually a hobby. That you talked about hoarding. I have wheat pennies up the wazoo from coin roll hunting. And I told my wife, I'm like, this isn't going to be an expensive hobby. I'll just go to the bank. I'll buy $25 worth of pennies. And if I find, maybe 20 pennies, okay, it cost us 20 cents and I'll keep it. And then it went from there, and then we went to dimes and quarters and half dollars. And my wife's like, "You're going to the bank for a $500 box of half dollars? Are you kidding me?"
Well, and I suppose this would be a good point to mention for those who, do regularly coin roll hunt. They already know. For those who just dabble in it or are thinking about it, a lot of times that's where your best silver potential is the half boxes.
Yes, sir, it is.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and and I have a video on my first and only $50 hunt. I found I can't tell you, I think it was a 42, Walking Liberty, and I found like 40% silver $50. So it was a pretty good first hunt. Just haven't got around to having a free $500 to do it again.
Right. In that aspect, that does relate a lot to detecting, because you go through a lot of coins in a box to find a few keepers.
Exactly. And then I found, I'll be honest with you, it was NC Digger. And I found his channel, and I was like, ooh, metal detecting looks like a good way to find, maybe, and not in his case because it wasn't on a beach, but that rang in my head. I'm like, oh, I can go to a beach. I live like 20 minutes from one. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, maybe I can profit off of finding some gold. And then I kept watching more and more videos, and I fell upon like Digging Freedom, Frank, and the actual meaning of like the history of everything. And then the Stealth Diggers is what really turned me on to it, and seeing them talk about the history of the stuff that they were finding. And from there, it was like it went for profit to I'm keeping everything.
Some find it a bit of a harsh reality at times, that if you get into the hobby with the mindset that, oh, I'm going to get rich, chances are good that's not going to happen.
No.
But if you get into it with the mindset of, hey, I'm going to have a good time, I'm going to get out, enjoy the weather, have some fun with some friends, recover some history, well, then you find that you're becoming very well satisfied, because you don't have that, the hunger of the potential profit driving you. You're doing it because you're enjoying it.
Exactly. And I do intend on getting my son into it. And, that's the honest truth. I got into it for profit, looking to, and then realizing that there really wasn't very much profit for it. But then I got so far into it that I enjoyed it. I started studying coins and learning the different maybe varieties and key dates and stuff like that about coins. And then when it got into the metal detecting part of it, I'm looking at buckles and buttons, and I'm like, wow, these things are worth absolutely nothing to most people, but they're really cool because they have a great story.
Right.
Yes, they do.
And they've all got some sort of value. I mean, some are worth more than others. And, you know, there have been some people that they do very well with the hobby, just off of selling their finds.
Well, maybe I say that the wrong way. When I say that they're worth nothing, maybe what I'm trying to say is they're worth nothing in a cash value to me.
Right.
When I find them, they're worth the sentimental value of who had it before me and the story that goes with it.
Yes, that
Right.
it could tell.
There's no monetary. I'm sorry to cut you off. There's no monetary value, is what I mean. There's a very good story behind it. And that's the value that I intend on finding.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that is so true, Justin. That is so true. You know, like Josh said, get out there and just enjoy the hobby. Don't try to, if you get out with a bunch of guys, don't try to outdo them and find more than them. Just enjoy being out there with them. You know, when somebody finds something, they'll share their find with you. And it's like you found it because you were there when they found it. So just get out there and enjoy it. That's the biggest thing.
Oh, absolutely.
And I look forward to trying to get out there this weekend to do the same thing.
Good
I don't
deal.
care if I find a whole bunch of Marlboro cigarette foils, and it's happened. I don't care. It's just fun to do it.
It is.
A lot of people, too, even the trash that you find, you know, you can take that stuff home, throw it in buckets, and then take it into the recycling yard, the scrap yard, and at least pay for your batteries or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's I do recycle. I'm in an industry where I mess with a lot of pumps. Not to get specific, but I definitely I save them up, bring them in. So I'm totally down. I never throw trash back in the ground in the industry that I work in because I don't want to dig it back up.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but I appreciate the airtime, Josh. I'll let the next person calling in. You guys go on with the show. I'm gonna fly back in the house and listen to the rest of the show.
Well, you know,
All
Justin,
right.
before you go, Justin, one thing I'm so glad to hear you say that you're going to get your son involved. I think that is one fantastic deal father and son could get into and go out and do together. And that is something, memories of, especially of him finding something, that's a memory that nobody can ever take away from you. It'll never get broken. It'll never get lost. It'll always be with you.
And then
On
when
that,
he gets older, you know, if he gets somebody into the hobby and he sees them find their first coin or something, he can sit back and reflect and say, yeah, I remember when my dad took me out and I found my first coin.
Yep.
on that note, I don't remember what show it was I was watching recently. I think it was the Stealth Doctor was on the show talking about it, and he said that he had first brought his kids out, and this hit me because I was in the same situation, and the kids would like, don't do that with the detector, don't run over there, don't do this, and I did that with my son the first time I went out, and I've only went out one time, but he did mention that you just kind of got to let them go and do what they do, and let them get comfortable with doing it, and that was and I'm telling you guys this and telling everybody listening this, if they want to have their kids out, it in my head sounds like a great idea. Just let them do what they want to do. If they want to bring the pinpointer, and as long as it's waterproof, pinpoint in the water, and they're not really searching for something, just let them get the idea that they're having a good time, and that's all it's really about.
That's so true.
Yeah, and that was a recent show on Utah's chat.
That's what I think it was.
Yeah, I caught that one. That was just Monday night, I believe.
I think he has one every Monday night.
Mm-hmm. It's
Well,
a good show,
I'll-
too, listening to John.
Yeah, no, that was a great show, and he had some great information, and that was the one point that stuck out to me with the kids, and just let them do what they want to do, let them go out and have some fun, and if they think that they're finding something, it doesn't matter what it is, as long as they're having a good time, that's it, that's all it's about. It's having
That's right.
fun. It doesn't matter what you find. You can find a car battery in the ground. It was a great find. It was heavy.
Yes, sir.
And you'll find that the more you're out there enjoying it, before you know it, those good finds start coming in.
It doesn't even matter to me. Just the time out in nature and out in and nobody's bothering me. I got the headphones on. Let me go.
That's true.
It's better than reading a book sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Why read the book about the history when you can get out and live it?
Well, you got to read the book before you get out there. At least you'll know what you're dealing with.
That's where the
Oh.
research comes in.
And I find that very fun. And at first, I was thinking to myself, I know NC Digger at one point said I do X amount of hours of research, and I go out for an hour and a half to hunt. And I'm realizing how important that really is.
Oh yeah, if you want to get really right down to it, make sure your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed, you could have a lot of research to put you into that spot. But as long as your research is accurate and you're spot on for the area you're looking for, a lot of times you're well rewarded for your effort.
And more importantly, you understand the situation that may have been going on at that time, and you understand the history of what you're finding as you're finding it.
Yeah. To know where we're going, we need to know where we've been.
Exactly.
All
Great
right.
talking to you, Justin.
Thanks for the call, Justin.
Anytime. I'll see you next week.
All right. And with that recycling, Ohio Relic Hunter just took a load into the scrapyard the other day.
Oh, yeah.
He got a fair amount of money for it. I can't remember the exact amount right offhand, but it was a mixed lot. You know, there was probably some cans, foil, iron, brass, copper, stuff like that, which I keep a hold of all that stuff myself, too, and usually keep a big bucket right outside the back door that I throw all the steel in, like the old nails and railroad spikes. And
That's what we do at our little metal detecting club. We got buckets, and everybody kind of brings in their, you know, you always find brass tubing fittings, pieces of copper tubing, and so we kind of do that and all. We kind of throw it in there and just kind of adds a little money to our, account there. So it's helpful.
Oh yeah, and a lot of clubs will do that, where they just, everybody kind of throws it all into one big pile, and then they use those funds to help the club, maybe to purchase coins for a seated hunt, or for prizes for, say, a monthly contest amongst the club members, like a find of the month, or like your weekly club meeting, you bring in your finds and show them, and somebody says, oh, well, hey, this one was a really nice find. We award you the prize this week.
Yes, normally that's what they do. We do that.
I'm trying to remember, what is the name of the club that you're a member of?
It's Treasure Hunters Association of Pasadena, Texas, that is. And it's a good little group. We've probably got 55 members now. So it's a fairly good sized club. It's been around since 1973, so it's been a pretty good club.
Yeah, you've got some time there, and some of those members have been with the club for quite some time.
Yes,
too.
they have. Yes, they have.
We don't really have a traditional club, so to speak, in my area.
Mm-hmm.
But I am still, member of other things, stuff like I am a member of the Watts organization, different stuff like that. Just because they're out there, they're fighting for our detecting rights, so it's good to show support. We always need something like that in place. A lot of times there are a lot of people who they want to tear down the hobby.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And it's unfortunate, because there's a lot of history in the ground to uncover.
Yes, there is. There's a whole lot. There's a whole lot. I know the little over on Facebook, I remember that Miss Lou Relic crew, and I tell you, Kevin Strahan and John DeVille kind of headed up, and they have done a fantastic job of that. It's not basically a club, but it's just we all get together, and they do a fantastic job of getting us places to go and really give up a lot of their time of hunting so we can hunt.
Oh, yeah. Kevin does a great job with getting permissions. So does John.
Oh, yes, he does.
Yes, he does. Some stuff going on in the chat there. I was trying to see what they were saying. They're still going right along. They're trucking right on.
Yeah, they're talking about a lot of recycling and stuff like that, which is good.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's one thing in metal detecting. You're going to find stuff like that you can recycle. And it will, if you want to cash in and get you some spare change for batteries or whatever, it's an ideal way to do it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We've all got our own little reasons for doing it. Some people, they do it for, money for batteries. Some people do it for money for accessories for their machine. The possibilities are limitless.
Correct.
And with some of that, you can really get a nice tidy pile of money saved up just from that scrap. Especially when you're digging up like the lead, the brass, the copper. It doesn't take much to get some weight with that stuff.
Yeah, and like with Justin, down there on the beach especially, finding fishing weights and things like that. He's probably going to find a lot of that, toss it into a bucket and cash it in. Lead's still bringing pretty good price.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely it does. I make sure to keep a hold of all of mine.
Oh, I do too.
And I saw there in the chat earlier, too, I guess Ohio Relic Hunter keeps a mental list of his finds.
Mhm.
A mental record, so to speak. So, if I remember right, he's got probably a little over 20 years in the hobby himself. Man, he ought to be getting kind of cramped for storage about finds.
Yes, I bet he does.
Hard to keep track of all that stuff, I'm sure, but that's the way it goes. 5408, you're on the air.
Oh, this is Mike Bulls from Bradenton, Florida. How you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good, sir. How you doing?
Good. I just wanted to kind of tag along with what Justin was saying about bringing the kids out and stuff like that. It's definitely a wild blast because my youngest, which is 11, when I first started metal detecting, he was the same way. He just wanted to get out there and dig the holes with me and that. And it doesn't have to be the greatest metal detector for the little ones to start in on. Once they start getting those first couple coins, even though they might be the stinking Lincolns, but they see those Lincolns, they get all excited that, hey, I just found some money.
Oh, absolutely, and especially if you're near a beach area. You know, kids get out there and dig in the sand all day long. It's real easy to cover up the holes, and when they pull them coins out of the sand, they really do feel like they've found treasure.
Yeah, they do.
And you see them getting that coin out like that, and it's like Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Every coin out of the ground is another package. It's good stuff, though. And do you, do they have their own dedicated machine that they use, or?
My son now, he does. He used to have the Bounty Hunter Junior. He's now swinging the Quicksilver from Bounty Hunter, just like I have.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
So he's all,
there you go. That's
all excited because he's swinging same as Dad has.
And I'll tell you, I've seen some people that they've got bounty hunters that they hunt with, and I've seen some of them bounty hunters make some very nice finds.
Oh, my first silver find was with the Quicksilver Bounty Hunter right in my front yard, which was a 1942 Merc.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. That's it.
And I called it probably about 2 months ago when I found my oldest find was the Silver War Bullet, ringer out of a friend's yard, just like right around the corner from my house.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, because I initially just went over there just coin shooting because the development that I'm living in was started back in the 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Found out that where he lived at, I was like, hey, do you mind if I just come over there and swing? And he's like, no, come over and clean up the yard. So they just moved into the place and they wanted the yard to get cleaned up because they're pulling steel piping and stuff like that from the previous owners. So I said, oh, sure, I'll come over there. I'll help you clean it up. And he's like, yeah, you can keep whatever you find. I was like, okay. So I hit the one signal. It was about 4 inches down, and I put it on my YouTube channel, and I was actually shocked that it was a 3-ringer in Southwest Florida.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing about them YouTube channels and stuff. You can upload those pictures or videos, and if you're not sure what the find is, chances are good someone else is, and they'll let you know.
Yeah.
And what is your YouTube channel?
It's Michael Boyles, Boyles. My profile picture is I'm actually in my Navy uniform for the reserves.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, you must have uploaded a video earlier this week or sometime last week?
Yeah, it was for a cleanup. I didn't really get anything good on that one, but it might be the father and son one that my son came out with me with.
Yeah, I think so, because I can recall seeing a video come across my feed, and I thought, now, why am I not subscribed to this person? So I subscribed.
Yeah, I just started. The camera I'd used for the 3-ringer wasn't the greatest, so then I started using my phone, which I have a little bit with sound and everything's more with it.
Oh,
where
there
it's
you
not
go.
off.
Right. And a lot of times, really, it's just so much simpler because we've all got cell phones. It's just easier to grab it and shoot the clip with it, and then you've got it right there rather than carrying a camera along with you, too.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep less stuff off of you while you're trying to dig in that.
I bought one of those, of course, buddy of mine, Don, the Detecting Doodad. I bought one, several of them on all my detectors, and it's so nice to be able to just set your detector down, and the way he's got that pivot on there, you can pivot any which way you want to. And so you can point right at the hole you're digging and record every bit of the digging part, and then when you get it out, you can readjust the camera or just move it over, and it's ideal, the things he's done.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. The pivot on that camera mount, because I've got one of the Detecting Doodads camera mounts on the CTX, and a lot of times I'll just set the detector down and kind of pivot the camera around and aim it right there at the hole, and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Them things are handy, and really for the price, you can't.
And too, on your pinpointer, that's what I like about that. He's got that jeweler's loop on there where you can, get that thing clean off and actually zoom in on it, magnify it up, and see what you actually got, too.
And let's see, if I remember right, with the Quicksilver, doesn't that run on 2 9-volts?
Yeah, it's just 2 9-volts that run off of it, and I think my first set lasted me all of about a year and a half before I finally got a indication of a low battery.
Oh, that is awesome.
So if you happen to do a little bit of recycling, your batteries are covered no problem.
Oh, yeah.
You certainly can't beat that at all then. And it sounds like you're not doing bad in the area that you're in. A housing development from the 30s, silver was still in circulation for 35 plus years.
And my other spot that I have was back in the 20s, which is actually the local Boy Scout campgrounds.
Nice.
That I hit up. And I actually found the 1920s Boy Scout slide off the property.
Oh,
awesome.
I love finding them old Scout slides. I've actually got one here that's a centerpiece of a display of Scout slides, and it's one of the rectangular shape with the Statue of Liberty on it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, this one, it took some research, because when I first pulled it out of the ground, it looked like just a normal finger ring. And I was like, no, this just because the inside of the ring area was still designed just as the outside was. So it took me a while. I did find a picture of a kid in his old Boy Scout uniform from the 20s, and you could see the ring right around his handkerchief.
Well, and there again, that's kind of the fun of research.
Oh, yeah. The research, it does the thing, just like Justin says, and the Stealth Diggers, and a lot of the Hoover Boys, all their videos and like that. When you pull that out of the ground and you start doing the research, the history of the stuff that you find is more valuable than what the piece it actually is.
Yeah. Sometimes not all the fun is had in the field. And speaking of the Hoover Boys, they just uploaded their weekly episode this morning. That was a nice button that Kurt found. He found it looked like a Eagle A cuff button.
Yep, artillery Eagle button.
Mm-hmm.
Then the gift that his son got, touching too at the end.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Eagle button. I actually sent Kurt a message and told him, well, I'm by no means an expert, but I've kind of got a little bit of a niche in back marks. I think they're fascinating. And I'm pretty sure your button dates to between the 1820s and 1830s and was manufactured by this company. He thought that was pretty interesting. He was going to go home and look into it because I had happened to get a hold of him while he was out digging. I thought maybe I'd be interrupting lunch because, Hoover Boys got to eat your lunch.
Yeah,
yeah, they had a blast on that last video. Looked like everybody had a good time. Made some nice finds, too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that the Boy Scouts are trying to do for this area is try to get a museum set up because the Boy Scout Council, or at least for the county-wise, was started only 5 years after the Boy Scouts of America was founded.
Oh, wow.
So they wanted to try to get stuff for a museum, and I said, I'd love to come out and, I'll donate whatever I find right to it. And they're like,
yeah, there you go. Volunteer your service. You get to recover some interesting pieces, hopefully, and help contribute to the museum.
Yeah, and I want to talk to the main council person about it, and I want to try to set up a hunt for the area to raise money for them. Because my son's in the Cub Scouts right now, but he will be in the Boy Scouts. But at least raise money for them for the upkeep of the property and everything else.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
And maybe with him being in the the Cub Scouts like that, and maybe even be able to earn some sort of an achievement doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because they've got all the different badges and stuff.
Yep. Last time I was out there detecting the main fields area, we're actually out there on just his pack was camping. It wasn't a big event or anything, so all the kids were all around me. Ooh, what'd you find now? What'd you find now? And it turned into a competition. Whenever time I found any coin, I was like, all right, guess what year it is? And whoever got close to the year, I'll flip them the coin. They'll get it. And for being Cub Scouts, they thought that was the coolest thing. Hey, I just got this coin. It's in the ground.
Oh, yeah. And it sounds like they're talking in the chat about the Hoover Boys video, too. About that 1916 Merc.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's always, you get that out of the ground, and if you see the front side first, you're always going, oh, please be a D.
I'll let you guys go to free up the line. Let the next person call in.
Well, thanks very much for calling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, no problem,
thanks
guys.
for dropping by.
Y'all have a good night.
Yeah, Kurt had, well, all of them, actually, in the video. I don't know if you had the opportunity to see that yet today or not.
Not yet. I haven't watched it yet. I did see part of it on Facebook, but I just didn't have a chance to watch it. I was at work, so.
Yeah, they made some nice finds. Donated them to the local museum there for the property that they were on.
Well, that's good. That's always good to do that.
Absolutely it is. You never know what you're going to find, and that's part of the fun of the hobby, too.
That is so true.
You got to get out there and look for the stuff, and it'll pop up where you least expect it, too.
Yes, it will. Yes,
like with the last caller, hitting that Civil War bullet.
Yeah, they're in Florida. I mean, bam.
Right, that's probably one of the last things he figured he'd dig.
Yeah, and if there's one there, there's probably more.
Exactly. If you can find one, chances are good it's got friends. You just got to look
yes,
for
it does.
Kind of like with your letter badge.
Yeah, I would love to go again and I'd like to find some more, but what everybody's telling me, that's kind of a one-in-a-lifetime find, especially on a battlefield like that.
Right. But still, it was a good find.
Yeah, it was. It was. Kenny, I tell you, Brother Kenny and I had one good time up there together. And of course, he's got it on video, too, and every once in a while I get a wild hair, and I'll turn it back on, just relive that whole moment again. It was fantastic.
Right. Just saw a comment in the chat. No, there's no trouble in Missouri. Nothing like that. Kenny's okay. He's just a little under the weather and couldn't make it. But he is here in spirit.
Yeah, he is. He's here in spirit, and I know he'll be up tomorrow, and he'll be listening to the archives, so.
He hates to be away from the show, and he's not feeling very well to not make the show, because we've seen times where he's even had teeth extracted, and he's still on Talking Relics.
Still on the show. That's correct. That is so true.
It usually takes a lot to keep him down.
Yes, it does.
Hopefully he'll be feeling better, and I know he's really looking forward to next week.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic show next week. It really is.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people looking forward to next week. I know I'm looking forward to it. A number of listeners are. Howard,
I know I am.
Yeah, Howard's looking forward to it. He sounds like he's excited about it.
Yes, he does, and he is one fantastic guy. He really is.
Oh, yeah. Al Foo's in the house.
Yeah, Al's in the house.
I'm liable to be very, very busy with calls next week.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to have time to. Howard probably won't have time to talk. There's going to be so many people calling in. But that's what it's all about, though, too.
Oh, yeah. I had even mentioned to somebody, it's like, well, it's going to be a good time if we can get a word in edgewise between the callers and stuff, because I'm sure that there's going to be quite a few people wanting to call in, and even if they don't necessarily have a question, just call in to say, hey, Howard, how's it going? It's great what you're doing, and it's going to be some good times.
It really is.
It's hard to say where that conversation's going to lead, because Howard has just a vast wealth of knowledge in the
He does. He does.
Doesn't seem to matter if it's bottle digging, dump digging, detecting. The guy he's got such a passion for the history. It doesn't matter what area of it's in, he wants to get in there and get dirt. Get that stuff out of the ground. Recover the past. Let that story continue. Definitely very well respected in the hobby. That's
Yes, he
for
is. And very versed on all aspects of the hobby. That's the thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully everyone else is staying fairly dry and getting out and hunting.
Yeah, let's hope so.
I've seen a few posts of some finds that have been made. It looks like they're still getting out there. I know Mr. Bill has been out digging when he can. He's been posting a few finds here. I did not make it out last weekend because of the weather that we've been having. Plus, I was dealing with some camera issues, which reflected on my last upload on YouTube. Some of the footage had been lost due to the camera issues. I think we've pretty much got that solved now, so
Well, good
hopefully all clips will be intact and in a little clearer focus, too.
Well, hopefully this weather here kind of simmers down. Seems like every weekend it's been raining. And, of course, we had this little depression come. But I hope it moves out before the weekend, but they're still saying rain this weekend.
Oh, yeah. And if I remember right, that one that come through there, Bill, that was supposed to hit, like Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri?
Well, Kenny and I were talking about that the other day. I told him, you better brace yourself, Kenny, because it's coming right on up your way.
Right. And probably on our direction.
Yeah, it was a fairly big depression, so it's probably going to go up, and there'll be storms all the way up your area, Missouri, all the way up.
Well, it's a good thing I've got a waterproof machine, because
one
weekend lost to the weather was enough. Hopefully next weekend I will be out somewhere digging. Who knows where? Maybe I'll get brave and try them woods, put that piranha to work a little bit. But
try that one. Get some good dirt on that thing.
Yeah, them woods out there, though, like I said, they breed mosquitoes like no other.
They do.
I think it's like some sort of secret group of Corps of Engineers or something. Them things are big enough to carry off trees.
Oh, tell me about it. They are.
There's something terrible. I mean, it's a wonder you don't see dead animals around just because the mosquitoes just bled them dry and they fell out of the tree.
Yeah, that is so true.
They are big and bad. I mean, you're into a rough spot when as you're pulling in, they're already attacking the vehicle to get to you.
Boy, isn't that the truth?
Them things have quite the appetite, for sure.
Oh, they do.
And we got Alfu talking about the evil ones.
Yeah.
And let's see, looks like we've got Swansea back with us.
Oh, okay.
I just got one comment for you guys, and you guys need to do this and take this to heart. People like you guys, like Alfu and the others in this hobby that have been in it a long time, a lot of us newcomers would not have had the knowledge of what we're finding or the identification capabilities. I mean, granted, there's the internet. A lot of you guys are what makes it easier for the rest of us in the field to figure out what we just dug out of the ground. And I pay homage to all you guys that have that knowledge, because it made it so much easier when you dig a coin out of the ground or a buckle or whatever. You guys make it so much easier to identify.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when you say you find that item, you take a picture of it and text it to someone from the field or post it on Facebook, and next thing you know, someone goes, oh yeah, this is blah, blah, blah. And it's like, wow, that was so cool.
Yeah.
Well, it saves us newer guys so many hours of research. We did it on our own. Thank God for social media and people that have knowledge that have been digging for a long time like you guys have. I've seen Al dig up buckles and stuff like that where he can tell you right off the bat what they are. And Josh, I've seen you do the same thing with coins. Chris, I know you do the same thing with the stuff that you find with your shield badges and stuff like that. It's amazing what you guys can retain in your information to be able to hold that all in. When somebody posts it, you can tell you haven't researched it for 4 hours, because within 3 minutes, you guys already posted, you know what it is.
Yeah, it is. And
I know there were a few people kind of surprised when I pulled that gaslight valve and said, oh, hey, what we've got here is...
Yeah. Oh, or the Model T stem valves from the tires and, a radiator cap and stuff like that. It just blows my mind that you guys know this stuff. As soon as you see it, it's like, oh my God, I've already dug one of those. This is what it is. Click, click, click. It's there in 2 minutes.
Yeah, and people are going, wow, how did you do that?
Yeah, I mean,
I just want to throw it out there that you experienced detectors contribute so much more to this hobby, even more than what you find. You guys have the knowledge, and that's what really keeps me going.
Well, for me, even the younger ones that haven't really been in it that long, to me, I learn a lot from them. I mean, I've been doing it off and on for 50 years, but I'm still learning. I mean, to me, it's just amazing what people find. I'm just in awe, and you learn something because they post it and they tell about it, and that's, to me, it's just a world of knowledge.
Well, Chris, how could you have known? How have you been metal detecting for 50 years when you're only 30 years old?
Well, that's what I've been trying to figure out. My knees are telling me different now with all this rain and stuff. My knees are kind of giving me a little trouble, but hey, so you know how that goes. It's kind of one of those deals, Swans. It's just, I need to come up there and you and I go hunting swans. That's what I need to do. Take me a vacation.
And there's always
you guys need to take a vacation up here to New Hampshire, and I'll bring you to all my oldest sites. I swear to God that you guys would have a blast up here in Colonial, New Hampshire.
There's always the possibility that maybe he got Don to create some little invention that's how he's been detecting that long at being only 30.
I've been trying to get him to do a few things like making some knee braces for me and things like that, and I just got to go there and have him get his calipers out and do a few measurements on me. I should be good to go.
Right.
You'll be the bionic man in no time.
That's what I was going to say. We have the technology. We can rebuild him.
Yeah,
that's right.
But swans, I tell you, if I ever get up there just to go hunting with you, that'd be the cat's meow, so to speak, because it's just fun with the people in the hobby that you enjoy hunting with and have talked to and all. That's what, to me, it's all about. It's just going out and with the people you talk to and just enjoying the camaraderie. That's what Kenny and I do so much, and that's something you can't ever put a money value on. I don't care what you find, but the two of you, the three, the four of you, or whatever, hunting together, that's what it's all about.
I agree 100%.
And like Swansea said, a lot of us, I guess, it's easy to forget or we don't think about it sometimes. The information that we do put out there like that through our posts and videos and stuff that helps other people.
Well, a perfect example is Justin's new in the hobby. I was new in the hobby only a couple of years ago. I dug my 1788 mass copper out of the ground. I was detecting with a couple of guys who have been doing it for 30 years. I had no idea what the hell I even had in my hand.
Right.
But these guys, right off the bat, were able to tell me what it was. My first King George, I had no idea what it was. My first Riel, I didn't know what it was. These are the type of things that these guys are saying, put that in a nice spot in your pouch, not with your trash, because it's not trash, and I wouldn't have known the difference. Again, I was out there for just trying it out. Right, exactly. So, protect it while you've got it, and you've got an amazing find there, but you guys put out these things that even the most miscellaneous objects that I would post on the ID Me pages don't need to. I can post it in Josh's forum. I can post it in, GA's forum. These people can tell you within seconds that have been doing it for a long time. It's amazing what the knowledge that these people hold on to. 90% of these guys, especially the older ones that have been doing it for a long period of time, are literally registered historians, more so than most people that write the history books. It's amazing to me.
Oh, yeah. And how they can retain all that information, but yet still keep everything separate, so to speak, where it's like, oh, yeah, that's a button. It's from this time frame, this era, this back mark identifies to this maker. Nice find.
The funny thing is, Josh, as long as that is, these guys can do that, but ask them what they had for dinner 3 days ago.
Couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell you. That's
exactly.
Right.
That's the best part. That's what you call a passion for the hobby.
Yeah. Or you run across those ones you post, say, a Walker Howe, and they go, oh yeah, I can remember, 20 years ago I dug one of them, and walk you out to the spot, and probably be within 10 feet of it, if not right on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how good they remember that stuff.
And that's what I wanted to put out there, too. I mean, there's a lot of new detectors in the hobby. I'm one of them myself. I wanted to say that it's awesome what these people have been doing this for years. The detectorists like you guys that were using machines that didn't have VDIs. You were listening to your ears entirely. What the ground was telling you, what the signal was telling you. You dug it up. You knew how to use them. You've adapted to the newer machines, but still that knowledge that you people hold on to just blows my mind that you can hold on to that for such a long period of time over the generation gaps and over the technology gaps. I really appreciate that, and kudos to you guys.
All right.
Thanks, Juan.
Well, thanks. Yeah, definitely.
All right, guys. Well, have a good night. It was an awesome show, Josh. I can't wait till next week.
Oh, yes. Next week, Howard Hewitt. And for those trying to keep up on the shows, July 1st, Tar Heel Digging.
Yep.
That's going to be another good one. And
Yes,
that
sir.
event is out there on Facebook already. You can find it on my timeline. I've been listing the events from my timeline because for some reason Facebook won't allow me to list the event publicly from the group. Some sort of change that they've done, or maybe I'm not doing something right, or who knows. But either way, it works.
Yes, sir.
I guess we're pretty much getting about to the end of our rope. But before we go, speed dial's always a handy thing. How about the third caller, 419-549-5744? They will get the wild card entry for the wild card contest. And I guess while we're at it, since today is Super Drew's birthday, we'll toss a wild card entry out to him, too.
Yep, we need to do that.
And let's see, we've got Justin is caller number 1. So we still need 2 more. Swansea is number 2. So next caller, see if they're quick about it. Unless the weather just affected the phone lines, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I think we've got them here. 2256.
Hello.
But I think we've got him.
How's it going?
What number am I?
Caller number 3.
Number 3.
Thank you.
And who do we have?
Gary Heckman.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. Well, you've got the wild card entry from the show, so that gets you entered into the wild card contest that we're doing for the Minelab First Aid Kit, Maglite, Compass, and water bottle. Which
You should have went to Indiana with me.
Yeah, I heard you had a good time with that.
Oh boy, I learned a lot from Andy.
Good deal. Yeah, that CTX clinic, it sounds like it paid off for you. You, from what I saw in your posts, you certainly feel like you got your money's worth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That guy is a first class. And the clinic was good. It was just all first class. They fed you, they took care of you, and it was really good.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Okay, bud. Thanks.
Okay, well, thanks
right.
for calling and congrats.
Yes, congrats
All
on
right,
your
thanks.
entry. We'll see.
All right, thank
Gary.
you.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Well, so we got the wild card entry out of the road. That one goes out to Gary. I'll get that list updated sometime later this week. Plus, we've still got the random draw entries from the domain for the registered members, which Al Fu got that one last week.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones that pop up occasionally on the Facebook group. So the contest still runs for a few more weeks. We'll still be getting those entries in, and what about the middle of July? There'll be a winner announced.
Yep, it's going to be good.
Oh, yeah. For everyone else, I think it's probably time for us to roll, Chris.
I think so, too. Great show tonight, and thank everybody for being in the chat.
Right. Thanks to everyone for dropping by, tuning in, calling in, interacting in the chat. By all means, if you enjoyed the show, rate the channel, drop us a message if you'd like to be a guest on the show, or if you'd like to hear a certain topic. We love to hear from the listeners, and sometimes we get some very good guest recommendations that have actually made for some really interesting guests. So with that in mind, I think it's time for us to roll. For everyone else, rate the channel, and drop in next week. You don't want to miss Howard Hewitt. It's gonna be some good times, that's for sure. Alright, well, it's time to roll.